I think Xiaomi has a problem. And strangely enough, it's a good problem. Because every year Xiaomi releases another phone that promises flagship performance, flagship cameras, flagship charging, and flagship features for a price that's usually lower than the competition. And every year I ask the same question. What's the catch? Because there has to be one. Nobody gives you everything, at least that's what I thought before spending a full week with the Xiaomi 17T Pro. And honestly, this phone surprised me. Not because it's perfect, not because it destroys every flagship, but because Xiaomi seems to have figured out something most smartphone brands still haven't. People don't buy spec sheets. They buy experiences. And after using the 17T Pro as my daily driver, I started realizing that this phone gets a lot more right than wrong. But there are still a few things you need to know before spending your money. So today, let's talk about what it's really like to live with the 17T Pro. From the first impression, all the way to the final buying decision. The first thing I noticed when picking up the 17T Pro wasn't the camera. It wasn't the display. And it definitely wasn't the performance. It was how premium the phone felt. Now, if you've seen last year's Xiaomi 15T Pro, the design will look very familiar. In fact, at first glance, you might struggle to tell them apart. The biggest visual change is around the camera module. The beveled ring surrounding the camera housing is gone. The camera island looks cleaner, more mature, less aggressive. And honestly, I think that's the right move. The overall design feels more polished, more confident. Almost like Xiaomi knows it doesn't need flashy tricks anymore. This is still a large smartphone. At around 219 grams, you'll definitely notice it in your hand. But thanks to the aluminum frame and excellent weight distribution, it never feels uncomfortable. The rear panel deserves some praise too. It looks like glass, feels like glass. But Xiaomi actually uses a reinforced glass fiber composite structure, and the result is surprisingly practical. Fingerprints are minimal, smudges aren't a constant battle, and even after days of use, the phone still looks clean. That's something I appreciate more than flashy finishes that look terrible after 5 minutes. Durability is another strong point. You get IP68 water and dust resistance, Gorilla Glass 7i protection, which should do a decent job of warding off scratches, and there's a basic plastic screen protector installed as standard, and honestly, the entire package feels premium from the moment you open it. Now here's where things get interesting, because the display is the first feature that made me stop and say, okay, this is serious. The Xiaomi 17T Pro features a massive 6.83-inch AMOLED display, and honestly, it's gorgeous. Colors look vibrant. Contrast is exceptional. Black levels are deep, and everything from social media scrolling to Netflix feels fantastic. The bezels are incredibly slim and symmetrical, which sounds like a small detail until you actually use the phone. It creates a more immersive experience. The display simply feels premium. Now let's talk about that 144 Hz refresh rate. Because on paper, it sounds incredible, and in practice, it absolutely feels smooth. Scrolling feels effortless. Animations feel fluid. Gaming feels responsive. Now, realistically, most apps won't fully utilize 144 Hz, but once you've used a display this smooth, it's difficult to go back. Brightness is another area where Xiaomi absolutely delivers. Outdoor visibility is excellent. Direct sunlight isn't a problem. And whether you're checking notifications outdoors or navigating with maps on a bright day, the screen remains easy to read. The phone also supports DC dimming. It's always nice knowing Xiaomi paid attention to display comfort. At this point, I thought the display might be the highlight of the phone. Then I started testing the performance. Let's be honest. Most flagship phones are fast today. That's no longer impressive. What matters now is consistency. Can a phone remain fast after weeks of use? Can it handle demanding workloads? Can it maintain performance under pressure? The 17T Pro absolutely can. Powered by the MediaTek Dimensity 9500 and paired with 12 gigabytes of RAM, this phone feels effortless. Apps launch instantly. Multitasking feels seamless. Switching between heavy applications never feels stressful. And honestly, the phone almost disappears. You stop thinking about performance because everything simply works. That's the ultimate compliment. Gaming performance is equally impressive. I tested demanding titles, high graphics settings, long gaming sessions, and the results remained consistently excellent. Frame rates stayed stable, loading times were quick, and surprisingly, thermals remained under control. That's something many powerful phones still struggle with. The 17T Pro doesn't feel like it's constantly fighting its own hardware, and instead, it feels balanced. And balance is often more important than raw power. If you're still watching at this point, respect, you're built different for the battery life and software. The 17T Pro runs HyperOS 3 Xiaomi custom software built on top of Android 16. There's a bit of bloatware to clean up when you first set it up. HyperOS 3 has been consistently smooth and responsive, and it's easy to customize the look if you don't like the default vibes. Xiaomi has its own version of Dynamic Island, and some of the lock screen options look quite iPhone-like, with oversized clocks and depth effects. Most importantly, though, they look good and work well. Xiaomi is promising 5 generations of updates and 6 years of security patches for European customers. It's a decent showing, if slightly behind the commitments offered by Samsung and Google. This means the 17T Pro should get the latest version of Android until at least 2031. The 17T Pro has the largest battery of any Xiaomi phone to date, besting the brand's mainline flagships with a whopping 7,000 mAh capacity. With such a large cell on board, I had high hopes for the battery life, but the reality was a little underwhelming. Don't get me wrong, the battery life is very good. It always gets me through the day, and usually through a second morning. But I was expecting a little more. In any case, charging the 17T Pro is barely a hassle. It supports up to 100 watt speeds with a wire, and the powerful wall adapter comes included in the box. I found it was enough to take the phone from fully dead to well over 50% charged in half an hour, which is impressive considering the capacious battery pack. The wireless charging speeds are impressive too. The 17T Pro can be juiced up at up to 50 watt with official wireless charger. Official wireless charger. And finally, the camera. The 17T Pro sports a triple camera setup comprising a 50 megapixel primary sensor, a 50 megapixel telephoto, and a 12 megapixel ultra-wide sensor. Up front, it sports a 32 megapixel shooter for selfies and video calling. The video can recording at 8K with 30 frames. The 17T Pro's main camera captures excellent photos in daylight. They're pretty impactful. Saturation is dialed up quite high, and the HDR is also doing its thing at full throttle. Detail is excellent. There's a lot of it, and it's rendered naturally, with great definition even in random textures. There might be a bit of a softening in super brightly lit areas, but overall, it's a top-tier performance. People shots turn out great as well, with lively skin tones and good facial detail rendition. The telephoto camera may be unchanged, but it didn't really need changing. Its output is proper flagship-level stuff, even if the hardware isn't exactly state-of-the-art. Sharpness is great and detail is nicely presented, though there's a bit of a drop in quality in dimmer indoor scenes naturally. The 5x zoom shots are a bit contrastier than the main cameras, with slightly deeper shadows, more of an observation than a complaint. The ultra-wide camera has the least impressive hardware, but it still takes very good shots. Colors are pleasing. Dynamic range is nice and wide. The lack of autofocus does limit its usefulness for close-up shooting though. The kind of close-up shooting that benefits from an ultra-wide, not macro-style close-ups. The Xiaomi 17T Pro also can record video at up to 8K at 30 frames or 4K at 120 frames with its main camera on the back. Video recording is stable and offers good detail, making it a reliable tool for capturing life's moments. And for those all-important selfies, the front-facing camera captures sharp, natural-looking photos, perfect for sharing. I wouldn't hesitate to rely on this phone for capturing precious memories. In the end, so, should you buy the Xiaomi 17T Pro? Honestly, for most people, yes, because Xiaomi has done something difficult here. They've built a phone that feels expensive, powerful, reliable, and enjoyable, without demanding the kind of money many competitors ask for. The display is fantastic. Performance is excellent. Charging is ridiculously fast. The cameras are versatile. And the overall experience feels polished. Is it perfect? No smartphone is. But the 17T Pro gets very close to the formula most people are looking for. And honestly, that's what makes it so easy to recommend. If you enjoy calm, experience-driven tech reviews like this, consider subscribing. More phones, laptops, smartwatches, and honest tech coverage are coming very soon. And let me know in the comments. Would you choose the Xiaomi 17T Pro over a Samsung Galaxy or an iPhone in the same price range? Thanks for watching, and goodbye.